A new leaked video has now been released of NBA Youngboy while in jail, with him on a phone call with his manager discussing the new information about his court case. Now we need to talk about this, so let's get straight into it. Now, for the last week now, NBA Youngboy's case has been very interesting. In case you haven't heard, some new evidence has now been released in his case proving that the law enforcement are actually holding false evidence against NBA Youngboy. So this means if Youngboy's lawyers can actually prove that, then NBA Youngboy will be coming straight home. So this is why we actually saw NBA Youngboy on a phone call just a few days ago, looking very happy while in jail, as he was actually speaking to his team about these recent court updates. When you compare how NBA Youngboy first looked when arriving to jail to how he looks now, this is looking much better. NBA Youngboy, when he first arrived to jail, was looking as if he was crying, having a very hard time while in lockup. It was just very concerning. Now NBA Youngboy, he's looking much happier now that the famous rapper lawyer Mo Gangat stated that NBA Youngboy has now a very high possibility of coming home due to false evidence being used against him in his court case. Now the famous rap lawyer says, and I quote, NBA Youngboy's lawyers filed a motion asking the judge to throw out all of the evidence that the cops have against him. His lawyers now argue that the evidence was obtained illegally in violation of Youngboy's constitutional rights, and when the cops searched him without probable cause. Now, the story from law enforcement is that a phone call came in from somebody in the area where NBA Youngboy was. Allegedly, it was actually his neighbor at the time. And in the phone call, the law enforcement says that the caller claims that there was firearms being flashed around. NBA Youngboy was also holding a firearm at the time, and there was a deep smell of narcotics in the area. So from my understanding, they were recording a music video, and this was actually proven in court as NBA Youngboy was seen holding a firearm standing next to a minor, as well as a photo of NBA Youngboy sitting on a trunk of a vehicle holding a firearm in front of a camera as he was recording a music video. So that actually did happen, but it's the rest of the court case that law enforcement has been lying about. The rap lawyer then goes on to say, and I quote, "A woman called law enforcement. She knows who NBA Youngboy is, and she was concerned with the activity going on around his house, but she didn't say anything about firearms, narcotics, or anything." So this is actually where law enforcement's story of what actually happened starts to crumble down. What's even bigger and what will get NBA Youngboy released is the officer who ended up going to the scene at NBA Youngboy's house was actually wearing a body camera, and that will be getting used in court for this case. Now, when showing up to NBA Youngboy's house, this specific law enforcement agent, one, did not have a warrant to enter NBA Youngboy's house, and he had no backup with him at the time or his own firearm out. Now do me a quick favor, imagine you are an officer and you get a phone call saying that there's a house with several men holding firearms, flashing them around, as well as a smell of narcotics. Are you seriously going to walk into that property with no backup with you, or even your own firearm out to protect yourself with, in case things go south? Obviously not. That's literally insane. Who would do that? Now the best part of all, NBA Youngboy's lawyer actually ended up getting in contact with the lady that originally called law enforcement and asked them, "What did you even call for?" The lady claims that she only called law enforcement because she was actually concerned about NBA Youngboy. She said nothing about firearms or narcotics, which means that the officer didn't have a search warrant, and too many lawyers are online are already saying that the fact that this body cam footage is out and usable in court, this is an open and shut case for NBA Youngboy, who will be getting released from jail due to it. But sadly, NBA Youngboy, being NBA Youngboy, made one tragic mistake that actually will end up having him serve some prison time, whether it's for that court case or what he did next. Now, when NBA Youngboy was arrested for those charges last year, he was actually granted bail until the trial starts. And well, the trial started and NBA Youngboy was a no-show to the courtroom or even just jail. Now this then meant that NBA Youngboy, he had a warrant out for his arrest, and knowing NBA Youngboy's priors record, which in case you don't know, NBA Youngboy's been arrested around 16 times within the last few years, the law enforcement, they were not going to take this lightly. This meant that the FBI ended up hopping on the case for the search for NBA Youngboy. Now this search, it started by the FBI looking over the streets near NBA Youngboy's mansion, waiting for him to come outside, whether it was to check his mailbox or even leave in his vehicle. Well, NBA Youngboy, he ended up leaving his mansion in his vehicle, and he ended up going onto the highway. The FBI then followed NBA Youngboy, get onto the highway. The FBI agent then turns on his lights and directs NBA Youngboy to turn his vehicle to the side, as well as turn the vehicle off. Now NBA Youngboy, he started to listen. NBA Youngboy started to pull his car over, and once his car was at a complete stop, the FBI agent then started to head out of his car. When NBA Youngboy noticed that the FBI agent had his door open and was stepping out of his vehicle, NBA Youngboy then stomped the gas and floored it down the highway. While going down the highway, NBA Youngboy was going through traffic like crazy, to the point where he had to steer off of the highway and hit the main roads. And while on the run from the FBI, and this ended up the chase on foot, NBA Youngboy started to run on foot, and on this day, Youngboy was wearing nothing other than designer shoes, skinny jeans, and a jacket, as well as huge diamond chains, which is not the best thing to wear from an FBI foot chase. Funny enough, NBA Youngboy ended up hopping a fence and started running through people's backyards. NBA Youngboy then ended up hopping into a fan's backyard who caught him on tape running through it, as well as in the video you can hear the fan saying to Youngboy to run faster and that the agent is almost catching him. Now this is stuff you honestly just can't make up, and it would only happen to Youngboy. But in the end, Youngboy did end up getting arrested, and he is probably going to be getting charged for having a high-speed chase with the FBI, as well as running away on foot, which could be considered resisting arrest, according to a couple people online. I'm not specifically sure about that though. But anyways, NBA Youngboy might beat the first original case, but he also might not beat the second. If you want to stay up to date, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. I'm out. Peace.